On our website, you can get PDF learning materials for free. Please visit englist.me.
Realistic.
Having or showing a sensible and practical idea that is possible to achieve.
Examples:
A realistic goal. A realistic goal. That story was so realistic, and it was scary.
Brain.
The organ inside the head that is responsible for one's movement, thought, memory, and feeling.
Examples:
Basic brain function. Permanent brain damage. X-rays revealed a small tumor in his brain.
Proof.
A fact or piece of information that shows something is true or exists.
Examples:
Documentary proof. A geometric proof. Proof is better than argument.
Concept.
An idea or principle associated with something abstract.
Examples:
Learn new concepts. Concept car. One such rapidly growing concept is quantum cryptography.
Rodent.
A small, gnawing mammal, such as a mouse, rat, or squirrel, that has sharp incisors and typically has a long, thin tail.
Examples:
Rodent repellent. Prevent rodent damage. He set up a trap to catch the rodent.
Essential.
Indispensable, fundamental.
Examples:
Essential amino acid. Essential commodities of life. Trial and error is an essential part of education.
Evolution.
A gradual process of transformation of living things.
Examples:
Human evolution. Evolution theory. They study the evolution of the universe.
Experiment.
The scientific test conducted to observe what happens and gain new knowledge.
Examples:
Experiment design. Series of experiments. His experiments showed highly positive results.
Embody.
To represent or exemplify something, to give tangible form to an abstract idea.
Examples:
Embody my goal. Embody a spirit of charity. The company's new products embody the values of innovation and sustainability.
Ark.
In the Bible, a boat built by Noah to save his family and animals from the flood, a large, flat-bottomed boat with a pointed bow and stern, used in ancient times to transport people and goods.
Examples:
Start building an ark. Ark of Salvation. According to the story, Noah and his family were the only flood survivors, as they were on the ark.
Arch.
A curved structure with two supports that holds the weight of something above it, such as a bridge or the upper part of a building.
Examples:
The arch of a person's foot. An arch-shaped stone structure. The arch bears the weight of the overhead bridge.
Planet.
Any of the 9 large celestial bodies that circle in the solar system, any celestial body that revolves around a star.
Examples:
Planet like the Earth. Save the planet. Mercury is the closest planet to the Sun.
Affected.
Influenced, feeling or showing emotion, especially exaggerated emotion, not natural or sincere.
Examples:
Affected way of walking. The affected part. Her affected accent made it difficult to take her seriously.
Disorder.
An untidy state or a lack of organization, a physical condition or illness that causes problems with how a section of the body or brain functions.
Examples:
The files are in complete disorder. People with bipolar disorder. The doctor prescribed some medicine for the mental disorder.
Largely.
Virtually entirely, to a large degree.
Examples:
Largely accepted. Largely mitigate the issue. Nevada is largely a desert state.
Empirical.
Based on or verifiable by observation or experience rather than theory or pure logic.
Examples:
Empirical research. Empirical philosophy. The study's results were based on empirical evidence gathered from extensive research.
Concrete.
Existing in a physical or material form rather than an abstract one, based on facts rather than ideas or guesses, made of or covered with cement.
Examples:
A concrete noun. Concrete examples. The president asked for a more concrete plan.
Explore.
To travel to or penetrate an area or a country to learn about it, to thoroughly examine a subject or a possibility to learn more about it.
Examples:
Explore the world. Explore our options. The management must explore strategies to increase office security.
Fundamental.
Forming an essential base or core from which everything else develops or is affected.
Examples:
Fundamental education. Fundamental rights. Human behavior has fundamental characteristics.
Quest.
A long or challenging search for something.
Examples:
The quest for truth. On a quest for happiness. That adventurer traveled in quest of buried treasure.
Universe.
Everything that exists, especially all physical matter, including planets, stars, galaxies, and all other forms of matter and energy.
Examples:
Theory of the universe. Expansion of the universe. The universe is about 13.8 billion years old.
Bubble.
A thin, round, and often transparent mass of gas that is surrounded by a thin layer of liquid, a state of economic or social prosperity that is unsustainable and eventually collapses.
Examples:
Bubble in the champagne glass. Economic bubble. Many people worry that the current real estate market is a bubble that could burst soon.
Topic:
A subject that is being discussed or written about.
Examples:
A serious topic. The topic of the book. The topic of the discussion was the current state of the economy.
Philosophy.
The study of general and fundamental questions, such as those about existence, reason, knowledge, values, mind.
Examples:
Philosophy of education. Western philosophy. Ethics is a branch of philosophy.
Debate.
A formal discussion or argument of opposing viewpoints, often to persuade others to adopt a specific position, a public discussion, often on an issue of current interest, in which participants offer opinions and differing perspectives.
Examples:
Debate topic. Debate competition. The debate over climate change continues to be a hot topic in politics.
Simulate.
To make a pretense of someone's behavior or looks, to reproduce something that exists in real life using computers, models, etc., usually for study or training purposes.
Examples:
Simulate climate change. Simulate a future scenario. He had painted the wood to simulate stone.
Systematic.
Done or acting according to a determined set of systems or plans.
Examples:
A systematic reformation. Systematic botany. Science is based on the systematic classification of experience.
Rigorous.
Allowing or demanding no deviation from a standard, extremely careful, thorough, or accurate.
Examples:
Rigorous standards. Have rigorous criticism. The way he manages his employees is extremely rigorous.
Horizon.
The line at which the Earth's surface and the sky appear to meet, the range of interest or activity that can be anticipated.
Examples:
The event horizon of a black hole. Business horizon. As the sun set, the colors of the sky merged with the horizon, creating a beautiful orange and pink hue.
Perception.
A belief, opinion, or image you have based on how you regard, understand, or interpret something, the ability to see, hear, or notice something through the senses.
Examples:
Keen perception. Perception of a stimulus. He is a man admired for the depth of his perception.
Stretch.
To make or be capable of making anything longer or broader without hurting or breaking.
Examples:
Stretch along the coast. Stretch a story. Some herds have been observed to stretch hundreds of kilometers.
Decision.
The act or process of making up someone's mind about something, a choice or judgment reached after considering options.
Examples:
Decision authority. A selfish decision. She was struggling to make a decision between two job offers.
Illustrate.
To provide pictures, photographs, diagrams, etc. in a book or something for explanation.
Examples:
Illustrate a key point. Illustrate a story. The company's financial records illustrate how successful it has been.
Anesthetic.
A substance that is administered to a person or an animal to produce a loss of sensation or consciousness so that medical or surgical procedures can be performed without causing pain.
Examples:
Anesthetic injection. Local anesthetic. The dentist administered an anesthetic to numb the patient's mouth before the procedure.
Receptor.
An organ having nerve endings that respond to stimulation such as heat or cold and makes the body react in a particular way.
Examples:
Cellular receptor. Receptor for HIV in humans. Hay fever occurs when a substance called histamine binds to receptors in the nose and eyes.
Introduction.
A preliminary explanation or remarks given before the start of a text, performance, or event. The act of bringing something new into existence or introducing something to a wider audience or new market.
Examples:
Introduction education. Self-introduction. The introduction to the new class was informative and engaging.
Neuron.
A cell that is specialized to carry information within the brain and between the brain and other parts of the body.
Examples:
Excite the neurons. Neuron cell body. Our body transfers information along each neuron using an electrical impulse.
Confuse.
To mistake one thing for another, to make somebody hard to understand.
Examples:
Confuse the listener. Confuse fantasy with reality. Her remarks confused the debate.
Surgeon.
A doctor who is trained to perform medical operations that involve cutting open a person's body.
Examples:
an excellent brain surgeon, army surgeon. He is a skilled surgeon that has many years of training and experience.
Hack.
To hit and cut somebody or something roughly and violently, to find a bug in a computer program and break into their systems or networks.
Examples:
hack through the jungle, hack into the program. This blog offers a variety of tips for hacking everyday life.
Compulsive.
Relating to or involving an irresistible urge to do something repeatedly or excessively, often in a way that is harmful or detrimental to one's well-being or relationships.
Examples:
compulsive gambling, compulsive behavior. He had a compulsive need to check the stove was turned off every time he left the house.
Perceive.
To become aware or conscious of something through the senses.
Examples:
perceive a threat, perceive light. Australia is widely perceived as having low levels of corruption.
Infer.
To form an opinion or conclude that something is true based on existing facts.
Examples:
infer quality from price, infer the possibility. Animal desire and preference are always inferred from their behavior.
Certainty.
The state of being certain.
Examples:
scientific certainty, reach certainty about the theory. Through investigation, his suspicions hardened into certainty.
Speculate.
To form a theory or conjecture or guess about a subject without solid evidence.
Examples:
speculate about the reason, speculate on the outcome. He speculated that this investment would lead to success.
Philosophize.
To engage in the activity of philosophy equals the study of general and fundamental questions, to reason about abstract concepts such as existence, knowledge, values, reason, mind, and language.
Examples:
philosophize about arts, philosophize about death. He likes to philosophize about the meaning of life during the evening.
Capable.
Having the ability, skill, or potential to do something, competent or proficient in a particular task or area of expertise.
Examples:
capable worker, capable leader. She is highly capable of handling multiple tasks at once.
Doe.
A mature female of mammals of which the male is called a buck, such as a deer or a rabbit.
Examples:
doe rabbit, buck and doe. Hunters use a whistle that makes the doe sound to lure stags.
Substance.
The real physical material of which a thing or person consists, the most important or main part of some idea or experience, an illegal drug.
Examples:
An explosive substance. Substance abuse problem. The substance of the argument was well presented.
Improve.
To make or become better.
Examples:
Improve a process. Improve the test score. We want to improve ties between our two countries.
Frontal.
Relating to the front, situated at or directed towards the front. Frontal can also refer to a meteorological term for a weather system that is moving from west to east.
Examples:
Frontal assault. Frontal attack. He suffered a severe frontal collision in the car accident.
Instinct.
An inborn behavioral pattern that is often responsive to specific stimuli, an innate feeling that causes you to act or believe that something is true.
Examples:
Instinct for self-preservation. Aggressive instinct. When faced with a dangerous situation, his initial instinct was to flee.
Cope.
To deal with and overcome difficulties or problems.
Examples:
Cope with stress. Cope alone with a child. The company was able to cope with the changes in the market by introducing new products.
Neocortex.
The part of the cerebral cortex that is responsible for higher brain functions such as conscious thought and decision-making.
Examples:
Stored in neocortex. Neocortex function. The cerebral neocortex is responsible for higher brain functions such as decision-making and problem-solving.
Mammal.
Any animal of which the female gives birth to live young, not eggs, and feeds her young on milk from her own body.
Examples:
A primitive mammal. A sort of mammal. Marine mammal populations are declining worldwide due to ocean pollution.
Par.
A state of being equal to someone or something.
Examples:
Above par performance. Not up to par. Shares in the company finally fell below their par value.
Interaction.
The act of connecting with someone, mainly when working, playing, or spending time with them.
Examples:
The interaction between man and his environment. Interaction among human beings. The interaction of the two groups is good for brainstorming.
Complexity.
The state or quality of being complicated or intricate and difficult to understand.
Examples:
Cognitive complexity. Complexity theory. The project's complexity made it difficult for the team to complete it on time.
Cognitive.
Of or relating to mental processes of understanding.
Examples:
Improve cognitive function. Research on cognitive psychology. His cognitive faculties were getting worse because of a lack of sleep.
Function.
The purpose or use of an object, system, or process, a particular activity or operation that is designed to serve a specific purpose, a mathematical concept that describes a relationship between two sets of values, called the input and output sets. Verb, to operate or work in a specific way, or to perform a particular task or purpose.
Examples:
Function properly. Immune function. The brain is an incredibly complex organ that controls the body's function.
Ultimate.
Furthest or highest in degree or order.
Examples:
The ultimate goal in life. The ultimate luxury. Management must take ultimate responsibility for the accident.
Pinnacle.
The highest point or peak of something, particularly a mountain or a career, the greatest or highest level of achievement or success.
Examples:
Architectural pinnacle. Reach the pinnacle. Climbing to the pinnacle of the mountain is a challenge that many outdoor enthusiasts strive to achieve.
Expand.
To increase or to make something greater in size, number, or importance.
Examples:
Expand a lineup. Expand agricultural output. They hope to expand their business worldwide.
Hundredfold.
100 times as great or as much.
Examples:
Rise nearly hundredfold. Improve hundredfold. The development.
Numb.
Unable to feel physical sensation and movement, not showing human feeling or sensitivity.
Examples:
Numb with cold. A numb mind. My left arm became numb.
Frightening.
Causing fear or alarm, or very surprising and alarming.
Examples:
Cast frightening eyes. Frightening experience. The news of the pandemic was a frightening reminder of the fragility of human health.
Organ.
A part of the body of an animal or plant that has a particular purpose and performs a specific job.
Examples:
Organ bleeding. Damage to internal organs. These infections have the potential to impact practically every organ system.
Structure.
The way of construction of something and the arrangement of its parts, or a complex thing constructed of many parts.
Examples:
The structure of a machine. Structure and function of the brain. The organizational structure of startups is often flat and straightforward.
Evolutionary.
Relating to or denoting how living things develop or change from earlier forms.
Examples:
Ecology and evolutionary biology. The evolutionary process. Evolutionary algorithms can find ways to optimize that humans do not anticipate.
Evolve.
To develop gradually, or to cause the development of something or someone gradually.
Examples:
Evolve. Evolve over the past decade. Eyeless fish evolved in dark caves.
Enormous.
Extremely large or great.
Examples:
Enormous amount. Enormous potential. Shakespeare's output of poetry was enormous.
Zoom.
To move along very quickly, noun, the act of rising upward into the air.
Examples:
Zoom in on a photo. Zoom lens. He zoomed back in time to the soccer game.
Discovery.
The act or process of finding information, a place, or an object, or learning about something that was previously not known.
Examples:
A scientific discovery. The great discovery of the century. Her research team made an important discovery.
Module.
A self-contained unit or component of a larger system or structure. A standardized unit of computer hardware or software designed to perform a specific function.
Examples:
Module software. Audio module. I must install a new programming module for my computer program to function properly.
Process.
A series of actions or operations performed to achieve a particular outcome or goal. A systematic procedure or approach used to accomplish a specific task or objective. A method of treating milk to make it suitable for consumption or use in other dairy products.
Examples:
Process improvement. Decision-making process. The process for applying for a visa can be lengthy and complicated.
Duplicate.
To make or be an exact copy of something, to reproduce something.
Examples:
Duplicate my efforts. Duplicate his action. I need to duplicate this document before I send it.
Skull.
A bone framework that surrounds the brain and gives the head its shape.
Examples:
Skull fracture. Have a thick skull. Archaeologists found a Neanderthal skull at that historic site.
Convoluted.
Extraordinarily complicated and hard to understand.
Examples:
Convoluted plot. Convoluted legal language. James Joyce's books are full of long, convoluted sentences.
Column.
One of the vertical blocks that split content on a page or screen from top to bottom, an upright pillar that often supports an arch, entablature, or other structure or stands alone as a monument.
Examples:
The spinal column. A column of water. The newspaper devoted several columns to the affair.
Massive.
Enormous amount, very heavy and solid.
Examples:
Massive amounts. Massive stars. The recent economic downturn has resulted in massive layoffs.
Grand.
Important and large in size, scope, or extent.
Examples:
A grand meal. Grand this year.
Stimulate.
To encourage something to develop or become more active, to stir the feelings or emotions.
Examples:
Stimulate the economy. Stimulate the nervous system. The book stimulated my imagination.
Symphony.
A long musical composition in Western classical music for orchestra, usually with 3 or 4 main parts, called movements.
Examples:
A symphony orchestra. A beautiful symphony. The frequent performances of the symphony prove its popularity.
Hop.
To jump lightly and quickly on one foot or both feet, to move rapidly from one place to another, to travel using an aircraft, bus, etc.
Examples:
Hop on one foot. Hop from one place to another. The rabbit hopped over the fence.
Eventually.
Finally, particularly after a long time or a lot of struggle, complications, and so on.
Examples:
Eventually become obsolete. Eventually succeed. The corporation eventually dominated the entire tobacco business.
Genetics.
The branch of biology that studies genes, genetic variation, and heredity in organisms.
Examples:
The science of genetics. Genetics discrimination. He is a specialist in the genetics of aging.
Fantastic.
Extremely good, excellent.
Examples:
A fantastic dress. Absolutely fantastic event. The new amusement park ride was fantastic, with twists, turns, and drops that left riders screaming with excitement.
Autism.
A developmental disorder characterized by difficulties in social interaction, verbal and nonverbal communication.
Examples:
High-functioning autism. Autism spectrum disorder. There is no cure for autism, but early intervention and therapy can improve outcomes for individuals with the condition.
Intense.
Especially of a feeling, very strong, extremely sharp or severe.
Examples:
Intense heat. Develop intense itching. That statement by the Prime Minister drew intense international criticism.
React.
To take action in response to something.
Examples:
React at a high temperature. React against his way of thinking. How did he react to your idea?
Probable.
Likely to happen or likely to be true.
Examples:
Probable outcome. Probable cause of a fire. It seems probable that he has forgotten our scheduled meeting.
Unthinkable.
Too unlikely or shocking to imagine or accept.
Examples:
An unthinkable coincidence. In unthinkable trouble. That accident was something unthinkable with my long experience.
Disease.
A disorder or illness that affects the body or mind, often characterized by specific symptoms or abnormal functioning of organs or systems.
Examples:
Disease prevention. Disease control. The doctor diagnosed him with a rare disease that had no known cure.
Corrupt.
Characterized by dishonest behavior or actions, often involving bribery, fraud, or the abuse of power for personal gain, morally or ethically flawed or polluted. Verb: to make someone or something morally depraved or causing it to become dishonest.
Examples:
Corrupt good manners. Corrupt discipline. The corrupt politician was finally exposed and faced criminal charges.
Symptom.
Any sensation or change in body or mind that is experienced by a patient and is associated with a particular disease.
Examples:
Symptoms of low testosterone. Neurotic symptoms. The patient displays a symptom of a side effect.
Holy.
Of or related to a god, divine power, or a particular religion.
Examples:
A holy man. A holy shrine. They gathered to hear the holy teachings of the Guru.
Grail.
A sacred or highly prized object, often associated with a quest or search for something elusive or unattainable.
Examples:
Holy Grail. Ultimate Grail. The search for the Grail is often used as a metaphor for any difficult quest or task.
Neuroscience.
The scientific study of the function, structure, and disorder of the brain and the nervous system.
Examples:
The branch of neuroscience. A theoretical concept in neuroscience. Our university is famous for its professors, who are well versed in behavioral neuroscience.
Dissect.
To cut into pieces, to study the structure of something in detail.
Examples:
Dissect the data. Dissect a personality. The scientist dissected the frog to study its internal organs.
Catalog.
A complete list of items, often including technical details and prices.
Examples:
A classified catalog. Catalog card. She used the online catalog to find the perfect pair of earrings for her sister's birthday.
Rainforest.
A forest rich in biodiversity that is generally found in tropical settings with heavy annual rainfall.
Examples:
Rainforest destruction. Tropical rainforest. The destruction of the rainforest is a ticking time bomb for the earth.
Communicate.
To share or exchange information with others by speaking, writing, moving your body, or using other signals.
Examples:
Communicate his anxieties to the psychiatrist. Communicate well with my advisor. Dolphins use sound to communicate with each other.
Connectivity.
The state or quality of being connected or interconnected, the ability of devices, systems, or networks to communicate with and exchange information with each other.
Examples:
Digital connectivity. Global connectivity. The hotel offers high-speed internet connectivity for all its guests.
Dimension.
A measurable extent of a particular kind, such as width, height, or length.
Examples:
New dimension. The crosswise dimension. Overall dimensions are approximately 400 by 200 millimeters.
Digital.
Processing or storing information as a succession of 1 and 0 to show that a signal is present or missing, relating to the use of computer technology, especially the Internet.
Examples:
A digital watch. Digital electronic signature. Sensors convert physical phenomena into digital signals.
Coil.
To wind something in a spiral or helical shape, to create a coil or coil-like shape, to group or organize something closely together in a circular or spiral pattern.
Examples:
Coil wire. Coil an arm. She carefully coiled the rope so that it wouldn't tangle.
Branch.
A division of a tree or woody shrub that grows out from the trunk or a main stem, a division of some larger or more complex organization.
Examples:
Branch office. A branch pipe. The branch of the tree had fallen and blocked the road.
Intersect.
To meet or cross one another.
Examples:
Intersect at a point. Railways intersect the country. Her multidisciplinary works intersect music and picture with writing.
Locate.
To specify or determine the exact position of someone or something.
Examples:
Locate a missing pet. Locate a tumor. The robot can accurately locate construction material.
Intersection.
A point where two or more roads, lines, etc., cross each other.
Examples:
Busy intersection. The intersection of coordinate axes. Take a right turn at the next intersection.
Synapse.
The fact or state of failing to finish an activity and of stopping using, making, or doing it.
Examples:
Synapse circuit. And at a synapse. Animals transmit nerve impulses through synapses.
Chemical.
Relating to or connected with chemistry.
Examples:
Toxic chemicals. A chemical compound. The firm has grown into a large chemical manufacturing.
Circuit.
In electrical engineering, an electrical device that provides a path for electrical current to flow, a journey or route around a particular place or area.
Examples:
Circuit breaker. Federal Circuit courts. An intelligent battery has a voltage monitoring circuit.
Fabric.
Cloth or other material produced by weaving wool, cotton, silk, etc., used for making clothes, covering furniture, etc.
Examples:
A hand-loomed fabric. Fabric of creation. These synthetic fabrics are used in military vests because of their excellent abrasion resistance.
Pose.
To present a risk, problem, or other issues that must be addressed.
Examples:
Pose a significant threat to my company. Pose a challenge. The chemicals pose a massive health risk.
Emerge.
To move out of or away from something and become visible.
Examples:
Emerge as a butterfly. Emerge from poverty. During colonial eras, new migratory patterns emerged.
Diversity.
The quality or fact of many different types of things or people being included in something, a range of different things or people.
Examples:
The diversity policy of the university. Lingual diversity. He was impressed by the range and diversity of the collection.
Pine.
A coniferous tree of the Pinaceae family, having needles and cones and characterized by its tall and slender shape. Verb: to have a desire for something or someone who is not present.
Examples:
Pine needle. Pine away for him. The pine trees in the forest gave off a fresh and invigorating scent.
Oriented.
Referring to someone or something that is focused or directed toward a particular goal or objective, organized around a specific principle or approach.
Examples:
Oriented graph. Technology-oriented. The company is very customer-oriented and strives to provide excellent service.
Unlikely.
Not probable or likely to happen.
Examples:
Unlikely event. It is unlikely that he would win the game. The passage of the bill is unlikely.
Variation.
The act or state of changing, a difference or change in the way something is done, made, or said.
Examples:
Variation of temperature. Gene variation. There is a lot of variation in the colors of flowers in the garden.
Orient.
To position or adjust someone or something for a particular purpose. Noun, the countries of Asia.
Examples:
Orient my thinking. The exotic flavor of the Orient. She took a moment to orient herself in the unfamiliar city.
Morphology.
The study of the form and structure of plants, animals, and other organisms. The study of the alteration of word forms as they change from one part of speech to another.
Examples:
Morphology of a language. Cellular morphology. The morphology of rocks can reveal clues about their geological history.
Specify.
To explain or state something clearly and exactly.
Examples:
Specify a cause. Specify an option. You can specify the font color by clicking the Color tab.
Equation.
The act of regarding as equal, mathematics, a statement that expresses the equality of two expressions by connecting them with the equal sign.
Examples:
The equation of poverty with ignorance. A chemical equation. In this class, you will learn how to solve quadratic equations.
Mathematics.
The science dealing with the logic of quantities, shapes, spaces, and arrangement.
Examples:
A good grounding in mathematics. Mathematics competition. He has a flair for mathematics.
Electrical.
Relating to electricity.
Examples:
An electrical storm. Degree in electrical engineering. Actuators convert electrical pulses into motion.
Generator.
A machine that produces electricity.
Examples:
Random number generator. Major revenue generator. Most data centers have emergency generators on standby at all times.
Lightning.
A flash or several flashes of light that accompanies an electric discharge in the atmosphere, or something resembling such a flash.
Examples:
Streaks of lightning. Lightning airstrike. The human eye is lightning fast in recognizing objects.
Bolt.
A metal bar that slides across to lock a door or window closed. A discharge of lightning accompanied by thunder. Verb, to move or jump suddenly.
Examples:
Bolt diameter. Bolt from my bed. The lightning bolt twigged in several directions.
Literally.
In the real or original meaning of a word or phrase, in a literal sense or way, not figuratively.
Examples:
Translate literally. Bite his tongue literally. He literally jumped out of his chair when he heard the news.
Shock.
A strong feeling or physical reaction to a sudden and unexpected event or experience, especially something unpleasant.
Examples:
Death from shock. Shock resistant. He got an electric shock at work.
Release.
To set free or allow to escape from confinement.
Examples:
Release a prisoner. Release CO2 into the air. The animal rights group worked to release the dolphins back into the wild.
Handful.
A small quantity or number, usually referring to the amount that can be held in one hand, a person or thing that is difficult to control or manage.
Examples:
Literal handful. Just a handful of participants. She only had a handful of pens left in her bag.
Laptop.
A portable computer that is small enough to be carried around easily and used on your lap.
Examples:
Bring my laptop. Thin and light laptop. I need to finish this report by tonight, so I'll be working on my laptop all day.
Calculation.
The act or process of using numbers to judge an amount of something.
Examples:
Make a calculation. Calculation of loss and gain. The error in the calculation was attributable to rounding.
Supercomputer.
A computer with a high level of computing power and speed, typically used for scientific or engineering computations that require immense amounts of data processing.
Examples:
Supercomputer performance. Supercomputer technology. China has developed one of the world's fastest supercomputers for its space program.
Refrigerator.
An appliance or device used for preserving and cooling food and beverages by maintaining a low temperature within a closed compartment.
Examples:
refrigerator magnet, empty refrigerator. Don't forget to put the eggs in the refrigerator after you've used them.
Gene.
The fundamental unit of heredity and the sequence of nucleotides in DNA that codes for the creation of RNA or protein.
Examples:
gene expression, gene cloning. A defective gene is responsible for the disease.
Magic.
Beliefs and actions employed to influence supernatural beings and forces, any art or performance that invokes supernatural powers.
Examples:
a magic spell. She is magic. He performed magic tricks with sophisticated moves.
Activate.
Make something start working, more active or dynamic.
Examples:
activate a receptor, activate a motor. You must activate the software with a 16-digit key before you can use it.
Glimpse.
A brief or partial view, the act of seeing something or someone for a very short time or only partly.
Examples:
a momentary glimpse, passing glimpse. Our team caught a glimpse of the world-class technique in this game.
Stimulation.
The act of arousing interest or activity in something, the action of providing a stimulus.
Examples:
stimulation of the economy, stimulation of the senses. The stimulation of certain chemicals activates the brain's reward system.
Specific.
Clearly defined or particular to a certain thing or situation, distinct, explicit, and precise.
Examples:
specific instructions, industry-specific regulations. The scientist conducted a study that provided specific details about the species' behavior.
Stimming.
A behavior often exhibited by individuals on the autism spectrum characterized by repetitive bodily movements or sounds, such as hand flapping or rocking, often used as a form of self-regulation or sensory stimulation.
Examples:
autistic stimming, stimming therapy. Autistic children may engage in stimming behaviors, such as rocking or hand flapping, to self-regulate.
Ignore.
To intentionally not listen or pay attention to.
Examples:
ignore her advice, ignore a ban. Since independence, the area has been completely ignored.
Veritable.
Authentic or genuine, often used to emphasize the degree or extent of something.
Examples:
veritable treasure, a veritable explosion of colors. She is a veritable expert on the subject and has published many papers.
Coordinate.
To bring the different parts of the activity and the people into an organized, ordered, or efficient relationship. Adjective, of equal importance, rank, or degree.
Examples:
Coordinate a special project. A coordinate clause. We want to coordinate a schedule for the investigation.
Summary.
A brief statement that provides the critical aspects of something without going into depth.
Examples:
A summary execution. A summary of the conclusions. A summary is at the end of a book. Convinced. Completely certain about something, having a strong belief or conviction in a particular religion.
Examples:
Convinced of the idea. Convinced criminal. The public is convinced that the Prime Minister has committed fraud. Succeed. To accomplish or achieve a desired or intended result or goal. To prosper or attain success in a given field or endeavor. Examples: Succeed beyond expectations. Succeed academically. I hope to succeed in my career and live a happy life. Hologram. A three-dimensional image produced by the interference of light beams from a laser or other coherent light sources used for artistic, scientific, or commercial applications. Examples: Hologram projection. Hologram technology. The museum had a hologram exhibit that was very popular with visitors.